Hey everybody, this is Minion Soldier and this is the Piracy Show. Now, in today's show we're going to be talking about the Cutlass and the impending Cutlass rework and the redo. Now, we've seen pictures before of the Cutlass remodeling. There's some up on the screen right now. And, you know, that was in progress and then it stopped. And, you know, my thinking behind what happened there is that originally the dropship that we were going to be using in Squadron 42 was going to be the Cutlass, but then it ended up being the Vanguard instead, and so the Cutlass rework got dropped. I think the rework was more geared towards delivering for Squadron 42. That's just a theory. That's conjecture. That's not fact. So, you know, don't raise hell on the forums. But that, I think that's a possibility as to what happened. Now, as for the Cutlass itself. Now, before I really kind of get into my opinion of the Cutlass as a ship, I feel it's necessary to kind of explain things because the Cutlass is kind of a hot topic, and it is kind of well, it's also a bit of a hot potato. You know, it's tricky to talk about the Cutlass. Now, what is the Cutlass? The ship that was originally promised, the nimble pirate fighter? No. Could the Cutlass in its current configuration be that? Well, some changes to the engines possibly. I mean, the flappiness is gone. I don't know. I mean, if you changed the size of the maneuvering thrusters and made it a little bit more powerful to that end, I think it could be. It could very well be that ship. But in its current configuration, I like the Cutlass. Not as a fighter, but as a ship in general. I think the Cutlass is a good ship. It is not the ship that was promised, but in the end, it's still a good ship. Now, as to the ship that was promised, we ended up getting the Buccaneer. Yay for us. But I still think that the Cutlass is a good ship. It's still a ship that I enjoy. Now, a while ago, you know, when I was talking about the Cutlass the last time, someone kind of made a joke that, you know, I bet his Cutlass isn't going to survive the Polaris sale. It actually is. The Cutlass is, as far as my plan goes, it is slated to survive the Polaris sale, if not just. What is probably going to happen with the Polaris sale is that, if it is possible, I am going to CCU, or I'm going to purchase a CCU token from the Caterpillar to the Polaris, and basically just not apply the token until a much later date so I can have fun with my Caterpillar and see how that goes. And then maybe maneuver things around later. But that is kind of the plan. The Cutlass, I plan to keep it because it's such a multi-useful ship. And it's, once again, it's cheap and inexpensive to maintain, supposedly, in the universe. So I really like this ship. Now, things that I would improve. Well, recently we had the Aegis Terrapin sale, right? And one of the things that we found out is it has the Class 5 turret mounting, where you can mount a turret onto the nose, and so one size goes for the turret mounting, and then 2 and 2 for each size 2 gun that's on the nose of the Terrapin. What I would like to see CIG do with this is to change the size 3 gun mounts on the Cutlass to size 3 turret mounts. So you would basically go one size for the mount, and then one size each for 2 size 1 guns. So the front of the Cutlass would have 2 each size 1 guns, so 6 in total. Now those are only size 1s, but still, there would be 6 of them. Additionally, I'd like to see the mountings on the turret changed the same way, but when you're in that configuration as a kind of vehicle for balancing, I would like to change it around so that the higher seat in the cockpit is the pilot's seat and the lower seat is the gunner's seat. And whereas the gunner would control the guns as if they were fixed, with a regular gun configuration on it, with the turreted configuration, the gunner would control all those guns, including the turret guns. And he would sit down front, so he would have a clear field of view, and he would act as your gunner. That's one thing that I would like to see. Of course, you do the math, that would be 10 size 1 guns. I don't know what people would have to say about that for balance, but I would like to see that. That is definitely something I would like to see on a ship like the Cutlass. 10 size 1 guns. If you could put all Joker sucker punches on that, that would make it a very effective tackling ship, and a very effective ship for bringing down shields without really damaging your quarry. And so I think that would be a hell of a configuration and a hell of a nice niche for the Cutlass to have. But that's my opinion. In terms of the rest of the ship, obviously the graphics are going to get updated. They're going to get freshened up a little bit, and it's going to be made to look a heck of a lot. The textures are going to be refined, the materials are going to be refined, so on and so forth. But overall, I like it. Apart from like a texture update and a materials update, I really don't feel that there's that much that needs to be changed appearance-wise with the Cutlass. I really like the way this ship looks. So what I was saying before, this would be the gunner's position down front here. And look at that visibility. And that's one of the great things about the Cutlass, is it's just, either by accident or by design, it's just such a well-designed ship compared with so many other ships out there. It's sort of like, if you've ever noticed, like the artist Chris Smith, who works out of Austin, he's done the M50, the 300, and the Mustang. All the ships that he's designed have unparalleled visibility out of the cockpit. It's such a joy to see him working on a ship, because every ship that he works on has just such great visibility and such command over the battlefield through that visibility. And it's one of the things that you see in just about every ship that I know of that he's designed. And hopefully with the Origin 600, which was accidentally revealed in the what is it? I think it was not the last ATV, but the ATV before that in the UK. So if the last one in the UK and then the one before that in the UK, there was a whiteboard and it listed a bunch of ships, including the Aegis Terrapin, but there was also an Origin 600 on that board. I'd like to see that one end up in Chris Smith's hands as well. I'd like to see what Origin does with a proper fighter. But anyways, once again, I digress. The Cutlass, I really firmly believe. We haven't even got to play around with the tractor beam yet. I really think that this is a good ship. Now, is it the ship that was promised? No, it is not, but it is still a good ship, and I really, really like it. And so there's not a whole lot that needs to be changed, except possibly adding some or making some changes to make it a little bit more, to give it a bit more of a niche. Even if what I was describing before, even if you can only do that with the turret, so you would have basically 4 size 1s on the turret, and then you could put Joker sucker punches on there just to help nullify someone's shields or tackle the ship. I think that would be a really good tool to have. But I would prefer like those guns to be under the pilot's control and have the turret more for defending the ship. But either way, if we knew that we could do that, it would be something that I would definitely be very excited to experiment with. But overall, yeah, the Cutlass, really, I just don't feel that there's a lot that desperately needs to be changed, especially now that the Buccaneer is on its way. I think that this is still a pretty damn solid ship, and I'm excited to see what I can do with it in 3.0, and once I can start filling up the cargo bay with cargo that I've, looted in space or looted from stations or wrecks. I'm very excited to fly around in my Cutlass. So beyond that, I kind of wanted to delve a little bit more into the channel and what I'm doing with the channel, or what I hope to do with the channel. And one of the things that people often say is, why don't you promote the channel more? Why don't you promote the channel on Reddit? And things like that. And honestly, I'm very comfortable with the channel and the audience, the size that it is. I'm more curious to see how this grows organically. I'm not, when I make my videos, I don't say, hey, please like and subscribe and blah, 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 and all that crap. I don't say that at the end of my videos. I don't try to, kind of say, hey, you better sub my channel or anything like that. I just like to grow an audience organically and just by word of mouth. And, some people like me, some people obviously don't. But I'm more curious to see how this grows organically rather than trying to go out there and overtly promote myself. Because once again, like, this is not something that I'm really hoping to do for a living. I mean, if it happened, then that would be interesting. But it's more something that I do just for the fun of it. And, I like, when it comes to video games, I like to collect a lot of information and organize it, and I like to kind of obsess over little details. So, I mean, I think when I first did the first episode of Ship Updates, I was just that I figure, I'll use my evil powers to benefit the community or something along those lines. And that's basically why I do it, because I just go around collecting and organizing information. I mean, that's kind of why I think I would possibly be the worst Twitch streamer of all time, because watching me play video games would be such an exercise in boredom, because I spend so much time obsessing over little details and going, okay, well, if I go here, what can I get from here? If I go there, what can I get from there? And things like that. I mean, I'm very... oddly enough, I'm very disorganized in the real world, but very organized in the digital world. So, yeah. I think maybe there's a life lesson in there somewhere, but I don't have time for that. So that's kind of what I have planned for the future. Or at least kind of what I want to do with this channel. I kind of want to avoid, turning into a channel that's all hashtags and hype, and make it a channel that's a little bit more informative, if at the same time a little bit boring. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.
Quantum travel initiated.